Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the top 5 most dangerous countries in the world. These countries face war, terrorism, high crime rates, and political instability, making everyday life extremely risky for the people living there and even for those who visit. So, let's dive into the list and see why these places are considered so dangerous. Afghanistan. Afghanistan has been at war for decades after the U.S. intervention in 2001 to overthrow the Taliban regime. The situation has only become more complicated with the Taliban regaining control of most of the country. Terrorist attacks and bombings are frequent, especially in major cities. The daily threat of violence makes it one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Many areas are still uncontrolled by the government, which adds to the constant uncertainty and fear that people live with through Syria. Syria has been ravaged by civil war since 2011. What began as peaceful protests against the government quickly turned into a brutal conflict involving regime forces, opposition groups, and terrorist organizations like ISIS. The destruction is immense, with millions displaced from their homes. Even today, large parts of the country are still active conflict zones. Bombings, sniper attacks, and terrorism are daily occurrences, making Syria one of the most dangerous places in the world. And medical supplies. 3. Yemen. Yemen has been in the grips of a civil war since Saudi Arabia leads a coalition against the Houthi rebels, and the country is in ruins from ongoing airstrikes and ground combat. But the real tragedy is the humanitarian crisis. The United Nations calls Yemen the world's largest humanitarian disaster. There's widespread famine, lack of clean water, and outbreaks of diseases like cholera. Daily life for Somalia. Somalia has been struggling with weak government control and continuous terrorist attacks for years. The country is heavily affected by the presence of the Al-Shabaab terrorist group, which frequently carries out bombings, assassinations, and armed clashes. The weak state structure makes it nearly impossible to establish peace and security, particularly in rural areas. Along the coast, piracy is also a significant issue. So, whether on land or at sea, safety is almost non-existent in Somalia. 5. Venezuela. Venezuela is in South America, but it has been facing a severe economic and political crisis in recent years. Despite having vast oil reserves, poor economic management and widespread corruption have driven the country into collapse. Basic goods like food and medicine are incredibly scarce, and crime has skyrocketed. Robberies, kidnappings, and murders are widespread. The capital, Caracas, is considered one of the most dangerous cities in the world. The combination of economic ruin and social unrest makes Venezuela a very dangerous place to live or visit. So those are the top 5 most dangerous countries in the world. The wars, terrorism, high crime rates, and humanitarian crises make life incredibly difficult for the people living there. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Also, let me know in the comments which country you think is facing the most critical situation. See you in the next video.